Another conspiracy theory. Do you believe we went to the moon?
It's a hard thing because I'm not there. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't trust anything that comes out of NASA. They've lied so many times. They're like, oh, we lost all the data. Like we had all these records from landing on the moon. We erased them on accident. And you want to hear a joke I have about it?
Yeah.
A Nazi, a Satanist, and a Scientologist walk into a bar. What do?
Have a drink.
Create NASA. That's who created NASA. Okay, it was a Nazi, von Braun, a Satanist, Jack Parsons, and L. Ron Hubbard all helped create.
Is that true?
Yeah.
There is a conspiracy out there that 9/11 happened by American government. That our government did that 9/11 deal.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
100%.
You believe that?
100%.
Amazing.
Yes, guys, welcome to Culture War. My name is Roland. Jesse will be taking on Sam Tripoli. He's a comedian. This guy is a conspiracy theorist. He said a lot of strange things like, NASA is fake, like we never landed on the moon, like USA, the United States, actually planned the 911 event. It's just strange stuff. And this guy actually believes what he says. Guys, you need to listen to this by yourself and enjoy this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell to get more videos like this. And also, at the end of the video, feel free to drop your comments. I'll be glad to react to them. So let's dive into the video.
I'm talking to Sam Tripoli.
Tripoli.
Tripoli, T-R-I-P.
On my show, I butcher everybody's name, so I can't get mad when somebody does mine, so I appreciate your
It's such
attempt.
a sharp name, though, Tripoli.
Thank you.
I like the name.
My dad loves it.
Yeah. And you are a comedian and a podcast host.
Yes.
I really appreciate you coming.
Well, I appreciate you having me down. Your studio's amazing. Your staff is very cool, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I read that you are you're into conspiracy theories, right?
Yes.
Define conspiracy theory. What is it exactly?
Well, the technical term is two people conspiring to do something.
Right.
Okay, but within what we're talking about is that something's going on behind the scenes to make this event happen,
right,
and being used to basically get advantage on other things. I always talk about this. The first conspiracy I was into, Santa Claus. Right? Santa's the first conspiracy. All your parents are together telling you about, oh, this guy comes.
Right.
And what do they tell you? Be good, which is what? Blackmail. They blackmail you into being good. And if you don't do it, you get what? Coal, which is punishment, okay?
So you don't believe Santa Claus exists?
I don't, but I'm always open to being proven wrong.
So who came down my chimney last Christmas?
A robber, dog.
Somebody brought me gifts and left them.
Somebody left you gifts. You're wonderful. You must have had a good year and been a good boy.
It was amazing.
What gifts did Santa leave you?
He left me a piano.
Oh my God, he got that down a chimney?
Yeah.
Was it a big piano or just a little tiny little piano?
Yeah. You know how you have the long electric black ones? You can turn it to the side, bring it down.
Maybe I've been bad, that's why he hasn't shown up.
He left me some clothes and things like that. And
Dad
money,
gets socks, right?
And money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom gets, every commercials, mom gets a car, kids get an X-Pac, Dad gets socks.
That's right.
How did we get ripped on that one?
I know.
Since
the
we're
men
paying
always
for
been
everything.
ripped off.
It's ridiculous.
We have to pay for it and get nothing.
Yeah, we get nothing except for the bill.
There is a conspiracy out there that 9/11 happened by American government, that our government did that 9/11 deal.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
100%.
You believe that?
100%.
Amazing. And why do you believe it 100%?
Well, I mean, it's just the documents, the witnesses, the situation going on. Basically, you ever hear that former CIA, John Brennan, is a Muslim? Have you ever heard that theory?
No.
The reason they think he's a Muslim is because he was allowed to go to Mecca. And you're only allowed to go to Mecca if you are a Muslim, but people don't realize there's a small rule which states that the Saudi royal family can invite a certain handful of non-Muslims to Mecca, and John Brennan was there, and that's where part of the whole plan got hatched. John Brennan greenlit all 19 hijackers when he was told not to. through the dancing Israelis, we realized that foreign countries gave them logistics. And there's a video out there. I forget the name. All I can say he was the head, I believe, transportation, an Asian man. He's testifying that he was on a plane with Dick Cheney. The jet fighters were saying the enemy plane is approaching the Pentagon. It is 30 minutes out. It is 20 minutes out. It is 10 minutes out. Should we engage? And Dick Cheney goes, did I tell you to engage? Did I tell you to change the plan? And he said that Dick Cheney said, no, I did not tell you to change the plan. If you look at, there were 5 buildings hit on 9/11. 3 of them were accounting buildings. Okay, the part of the Pentagon was all the accounting offices for the Pentagon. Then you had Building 7 was an accounting. And then the big one that nobody ever talks about is Building 6. Nobody ever talks about Building 6. Building 6 had a department there called the El Dorado Task Force, which was a task force put together by 55 government agencies. They pooled their resources, and their job was to search for money laundering for terrorism around the world. And if you look up Building 6, Google it, you could see they drilled a hole right in it, but they messed up because the actual walls of Building 6 are still there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
I never heard anyone explain it that way.
Yeah, it's all there, dude.
And you truly believe this?
100%. I mean, it's all. I mean, these
Even
are all
at
facts.
the risk of putting 3,000 people died from that?
3,000 people died, and then I recently found out that the people who were doing some of the logistics of that were all asked to meet up in Building 7, and they blew that up and got rid of all the witnesses. That's what I've just heard recently, too.
And did you believe that?
Yes.
Amazing. So I have 2 more I want to ask you about.
Okay, you can ask me anything. I'm here for you.
Another conspiracy theory is that the world is flat. The Earth is flat.
Yeah, I've heard that. You know, it's like my whole theory on flat Earth is, I'll tell you, is I believe we live on a globe, but I only believe that because I was told that as a child. I've done zero research into it. And I know most people who bristle at that have done no research either. We take what we're told as children and we kind of run with it. I personally think we live in a simulation, a holodeck, and that's why we have infinite plane and all that stuff. So I'm never going to be able to convince anybody that Earth is round, Earth is flat. It's just really out of my whole thing. But my best friend's a flat earther, and he goes hard in the paint, and we agree on everything else. I know once you say flat Earth, people get but I'm telling you, we've been lied to about a lot of stuff. What I've learned over time, my friend, is that what is up is really down.
We have been lied to, that's for
is
sure.
really up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over the long haul.
So you're saying that there is a possibility that the Earth can be flat?
There is, man. I mean, it's not my thing, and just saying it, I know everybody says crazy town, but anything is possible at this point, man. And
if you didn't live in Los Angeles, would you believe that?
I don't think anyone in LA wants to believe it, but they also want to believe that Hillary's a good person and that she got screwed by the Russians, which we all know that was a lie, and I knew that was a lie 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. The Russian, a whole deal that the Great White Hope and Russian collusion. And they proved that it never existed. It's a lie, made up lie. Did you believe that there was a Russian collusion between the president and President Trump? Did you know I call him the Great White Hope?
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted when Obama got elected, I wanted to believe in change, and after 2 years, I realized it was the same thing. Now with Trump being in 2.5 years, I'm a little nervous by just putting hope into somebody who's held the same office as the last 4 presidents who were completely corrupt and did real damage to this country. So it makes me real hesitant to sit there and go, oh, this guy's different than everybody else.
I think he's proved he is, though.
Well, it's possible. I mean, I want certain things to happen. He has enough evidence to arrest all these people, but he's arrested, Julian Assange. And, I had Alex Jones on my podcast. He kept referencing WikiLeaks. Yet WikiLeaks is the guy who's gotten arrested. So it's like I
But
can't.
it's coming. Don't worry, Sam.
We're almost to
Believe me.
election two.
I
We're
know.
almost to
These
election
people are
two.
running scared right now. They want to know what's in that
I
report.
want to believe it.
If their names are on that list, because they know Trump is not playing around. He's the great white hope. The great white hope doesn't play around.
I hope, but
So-
can I just say one thing?
Yes.
His election, and I'll say this, if I am wrong, I will come back on the show going, you were right about Trump, I was wrong. I have no problem with admitting I'm wrong. But Trump's election is very much alike Bill Clinton's election. If you look, he came in, he beat an established candidate who was the DC insider, came and beat him. When they got election, his first couple years were all sex scandals and probes and inquiries and juries and stuff like that, all while deregulating, and all doing the interest of the big thing. So what do we know about Bill Clinton and George Bush is that you remember that election when they ran together, they hated each other, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
As we learned later on,
Yeah.
they were best friends, and they were running coke through Arkansas.
Okay.
So instead, that election was more like when Andre the Giant gave the belt to Hulk Hogan. Do you remember that, Doc? And that was a big thing.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't this be any different? Why Clintons and the Trumps were friends for years? Their daughters are best friends. I'm just saying. We should always question everything.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. We should always question. Never
Question
accept,
them.
never accept them just because they said it. You have to question all things. Do you want the wall to go up?
What?
The wall that the president is putting up around the borders. Are you in support of that?
What I would prefer is that we end the drug war and the Mexicans will go back to Mexico because have you been to Mexico? It's fucking wonderful. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Well, everybody does it now on the show, so it's okay.
But they're here because we've destabilized their country with the drug war. I mean, if you what I've learned on my show over time is that the CIA runs the complete and utter international drug war. We're in Afghanistan. Why? When people go, I don't want to pay for drug addicts to do drugs. Well, your taxpayer money is because we have troops over there in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields. What do you think they're doing with that poppy field? They're coming here, they're making Oxycontin, and then they're flooding the country with heroin. So we're guarding them. And like basically Fast and Furious, Obama got busted shipping guns to the Mexican cartel. And this is the deal. We give them guns, they send us drugs. And Mexico keeps trying to legalize drugs so they can stabilize their country. Once we do that, I guarantee you're going to see a mass exodus back to Mexico because they'd rather live there because that's where they're from. But we've made it so it's like mass slaughter over there.
How do you know we? When you say we, you mean the United States, right?
I'm saying not you and me.
Right. No, I know you're not talking about the but I mean,
it's
but
the
you mean
CIA.
the United States, right? How do you know they did that for sure?
What?
How do you know they did that for sure?
There's been records of it. The U.S. power structure is basically built by all the families that ran the opium trade. The Ivy League schools were created. Each one was created by a different opium family from the British India company, which basically ran the opium trade in the world. They sold drugs to China. Why do you think drug dealing is a capital punishment in China? Because this company was flooding China with opium, and the entire country was getting hooked to the point that the emperor had to say, "It is illegal to sell drugs, and we will kill you if we catch you doing it." It's all the drug trade, man.
I often wonder, where do conspiracy theorists get their information from? Because you guys seem to have all the information that no one else has.
Well, because
where do you get it from?
Research, man, hard research. Forever there has been, basically conspiracy is this, propaganda versus conspiracy. So when I argue with somebody, they're telling me the propaganda that they saw on Rachel Maddow, and I'm arguing with stuff that I've read, whether it's WikiLeaks, books, talking to experts who've been there, done the research. The information's out there. You just have to go find it. And most people don't want that. We take the easiest way out.
Another conspiracy theory. Do you believe we went to the moon?
It's a hard thing because I'm not there. It's like I don't know, man. It's just like I don't trust anything that comes out of NASA. They've lied so many times. Like they're like, oh, we lost all the data. Like we had all these records from landing on the moon. We erased them on accident. And you want to hear a joke I have about it?
Yeah.
A Nazi, a Satanist, and a Scientologist walk into a bar. What do?
Have a drink.
Create NASA. That's who created NASA. Okay, it was a Nazi, von Braun, a Satanist, Jack Parsons, and L. Ron Hubbard all helped create.
Is that true?
Yes, 100%.
Really? I've never heard that before.
They would never.
I thought
tell
that
you
was a joke.
Well, the joke was a joke,
Right.
but what
that
it's
really
about is
happened.
real. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So is NASA a fake?
There's a good argument. I mean, NASA's like, I forget what it is, $50 million a day or 50, it's like some insane number.
Right.
That it's just, none of their pictures are all computer graphics and not actually pictures.
Wow. So two more I want to ask you about.
I'll be here all day.
Most, not all, black people believe that the white man is holding them down. Is that a conspiracy theory?
Well, there has been institutional racism, man.
When was there institutional racism?
Like the crack epidemic was like focused on the black community and making money off that.
Why did they take it? What was wrong with them that they took it?
Well, I as a man who struggled with drugs and alcohol in the past, it's a hard thing. I'm a victim of my own stuff, and see what's going on right now with the heroin epidemic. We see it going on in white America. They pull the jobs out. They flood it with drugs. You have no hope, so you start doing drugs, and then they throw you in jail. And then there's no males in the family unit. The children are raised without two parents, and it gets kind of crazy. So there are movements to, make it harder for certain people to come up. But let me just say that is also can be applied to poor middle-class whites as well. And that's what nobody wants to talk about. Like, you always hear like, in Compton or wherever, it's like the single parents, drug addiction, there's no money. Well, go to upstate New York where my mother lives. She would tell me daily about how white kids would go to school, dirty clothes, dirty underwear, no lunch money, drug addicted parents. It's not black versus white, or it's rich versus poor. Nobody ever wants to talk about that. So that's why they get us all to fight with each other.
I grew up in Alabama on a plantation under the Jim Crow laws. And I don't know of anybody who grew up drug addicted or hating the white man or blaming the white man. Black people, and we were restricted. We couldn't use the same bathrooms as white people and all that kind of stuff, right? But black people did better under the Jim Crow laws than they are doing today when supposedly they're free. Why is there a difference today as opposed to then? And I grew up in a woods house. I planted a plantation. Went to the field. You ever pick cotton?
No, I've never picked cotton. I respect
that would make you want to get on drugs. No, I'm kidding. But what's the difference in the blacks then than when they bring drugs in now?
I understand your statement, and I respect it, and there's definitely a ton of validity to that. I think right now we see that there is this giant. See, what happens in life is that when we don't get automatically what we want, we start sulking, and then you have this propaganda out there that's telling you that these people are holding you back, and they start demonizing people.
Yes.
So when a white woman grabs her purse, when a black guy gets in, boom, or when a black person their life is going right, they want to blame it on a white guy that they've never met before. Yeah, it's just a propaganda to get you to not want to. They just want to blame other people. We've seen through the hip hop culture, there was a movement to get away from like positive hip hop, moved into gangster rap, and it was like to teach them the gang banging and all that stuff. Well, who owns the record labels were the people who own the privatized prisons. So it was like this weird kind of.
But doesn't something have to be wrong with you already for them to know that they can take drugs in your community? You're going to take the drugs. They can lay guns down on the street, you're going to shoot somebody. I would never do that. Now, so I don't understand why we don't deal with what happened to the blacks, that these people, whomever they are, knew that they could put drugs in their community and they're going to
I
take
think
it.
that should be talked about, but they don't want you to talk about that because the people on the news stations and the television stations are also owned by the people who leave the guns in the community for people to grab and are the ones pushing the drugs on people. You know, it's like, and yes, a lot of people say no to drugs, but there are people who just give in to temptation and it gets away from them.
And are those the people who lack character? Because if you're a moral character person, you won't take the drugs. But if you have character issues, either you're angry or you're out of control, then you take the drugs.
I mean, I think if you talk to people that I've known for years, they would say Sam would run through a brick wall for you and treat you like gold and help you out if he could. And I sure came to drugs for a short time, and before I had to go out and like work on just myself and not doing it. I mean,
Why did you give into drugs?
because I like drugs.
And what was wrong with you that you wanted or liked drugs?
Well, chicks like coke. They let you do weird shit to them on coke. So I like sex and coke. So I dig sex and coke. So, you know, just like I love sex and I love coke. And that's kind of what got into it.
Are you married?
I have a girlfriend, yes.
Oh, and one last theory,
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. There's this notion now that's happening that the Jews are keeping the white people down. You hear a lot of young white males and females saying that the Jews are keeping them down. They
Right.
own everything.
Yeah.
They control everything. Is that true or is that a conspiracy theory?
That's just laziness. That is getting mad at puppets. You know, I get mad at the puppet. It's even beyond that. You got, well, Jews run the banks, blah, blah, blah. It's not real. It's the central group of, I mean, if you really want to get into it, dude, you know, the whole theory is that that the missing link between us and monkeys is Anunnaki, and they created us, this group, and to control us is this reptilian group, whether they're real reptiles or just have more reptile brain, they are controlling us, and that's why why were there pharaohs? Why is there a royal family? What did they do to become a royal family?
I often wonder that.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Why are they there? Okay, so I have many Jewish friends that don't run anything. But there's this group of people that I think these people at the highest levels, whether it's the Vatican, the International Banking Organization, or whatever, wear these religions as masks so they can walk around us. But really what they are is they're into dark arts. And they couldn't come out and say that because we would go nuts and, string them from trees because we know what they're into. And it's not even Satanism. It's like Saturn worship. It's the black cube of Saturn. If you really want to go deep, man. And they all worship this, but they use these religions to walk amongst us and get us all to fight with each other. I know many middle-class poor Jews. I know many middle-class poor blacks, whites, Hispanics that aren't doing jack shit. It's this group at very high up of all different races and creeds, and when you really study them, they're all related to each other.
And their purpose is what? To control everybody. For what purpose?
Well, I mean, do you want to get into if they're reptiles? Well, because they're psychopaths, they can't create, and they feed off our negative energy.
Amazing. How come the people down below these people can't see what's going on?
Because they're too busy being the victims of propaganda and want to fight with each other. And it takes a real hard look going, wow, for the last X number of years of my life, I've been being lied to. The people who hate conspiracies, man, are people who their careers are going really well and they have children. Because it makes you stop and go, am I feeding into this system? And am I going to have to start making choices that might hurt my bank account? And people don't want to do that. And they don't want to believe that they brought their kids into this world that is full of very dark people who want to do very dark stuff. And if you look at like the black cube of Saturn, which is what they all worship, the oldest god is Kronos, okay? And Kronos, the myth goes, is that he found out that his children would be the ones who were going to take him out. So within this myth, every time his wife had a child, he would eat them, right? Which is where we get into satanic child sex sacrifices.
That's amazing. So are you for killing unborn children?
You really love this, huh? I am not for any of that, but I'm also not, listen, man, I am also not for telling anybody what they could do. Now, just hear me out on this, man.
Okay.
The notion that these children get born to unwanted parents and that they've made it to the Holy Land, foster care is freaking brutal, man. It is brutal. Children get kidnapped all the time, go disappearing, and nobody does. They get thrown into sex trafficking, pedophilia, organ harvesting, and just dark arts, Satanist worshiping stuff. It is a very hard life. I am a Dick Joe comic, dude. I have no clue what the answer is, but I also know that crime goes up when we have this thing, okay? And nobody's joining the military right now, and our crime is down, and that means prison is occupancy is down. There's a lot of dark arts with that. I respect that you have a certain view of it, and I'm not here. I can't tell women what to do with their body. My girlfriend tells me I can't get tattoos. It pisses me off. She's like, no, you can't get tattoos. Like, I like tattoos, man. You know?
So I'm black and slow.
But you're a beautiful man.
So I don't quite understand yet. Are you personally in favor of women killing children in the womb?
I am somebody that I cannot tell women what to do.
No, I'm not
I don't
asking
want
if you
to.
can
I
tell
have
them.
no answer to that.
I'm asking, are you, as a man, an individual, are you in support of women killing children in the womb?
I am for women doing up to a certain point. I think that if there's a baby formed, it's a human being. But at the beginning, women should have a right to do it, because the truth is, if we could pass all the laws banning it, it's going to happen in dark alleys, and we're going to lose our sisters and our cousins and our friends, and it's just, that's what's going to happen.